All right. So the pitch for this movie that we're going to talk about is what if Silence of the Lambs happened at a Taylor Swift concert? From the trivia I read, that was the pitch that M. Night did to get this movie made. So
Oh
we're going to
god.
talk about Trap, which is now playing on HBO Max. Up next on the Entertainment Jungle. I thought this was like a Taylor
I guess it actually was.
Man, I don't know. So, before we get some overall thoughts with Walter and Ryan today, this one's a funny one in my opinion, for IMDb, which the description is a father and his teen daughter attend a pop concert only to realize they've entered the center of a dark and sinister event.
That's it?
Oh,
That's it.
I don't think that's correct.
No.
I also don't think that's correct.
I don't even
So,
think she's a teen. Wasn't she like 12?
yeah, yeah, maybe that's the. I don't remember that part, but
I feel like almost every word of that is inaccurate.
so great. That's a good way to start. But let me get some overall thoughts about Trapped, starring Josh Hartnett, directed and written by M. Night Shyamalan, and starring his daughter. What? And his other daughter was involved too. So let's start with. I want to start with Brian today. This was actually a suggestion when it popped up on Max. So what do you got for us?
Yeah. Yeah. M. Night Shyamalan does it again. What it is, I don't even know anymore. I feel like if he would just embrace the reality that he is a comedic writer, that his work could be incredible. But as a what are we calling this? Thriller? Not so much.
I mean, a psychological thriller, serial killer,
Yeah.
crime, horror, mystery thriller. Wow, IMDb went all out on this one. It gave it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different categories.
Yeah, I don't agree with any of those. I don't think a single one of those words is accurate. But this movie was quite funny, in my opinion.
Interesting.
And again, I think if he would lean into that he is a comedic writer, I think he could be a really good one.
He started off,
'Cause-
his very first movie was like a weird comedy about, I want to say, a nun. I'll look it up, but
dude, like honestly, like so many like beats in this movie. Like if Josh Hartnett had just like glanced at the camera, it would be like a great comedic scene.
he almost did
but-
a couple times. So.
That's what I mean. Like there were so many moments where I was like, "Oh, just do it, just do it. It's right there. Like this is a funny moment."
All right, Walter. Do you also think this could have been a funny movie? I don't know. What do you think?
Well, first, Ryan, did you like the movie or not? Because I couldn't tell from your description right there. Because you said funny, but good funny or bad funny?
So I did not like the movie for what it was. I said if M. Night would embrace that he's actually a comedic writer, it could have been really good.
I could have taken that as it was not intended to be funny, but it was funny, so I enjoyed it. So that's where I was going with that.
I mean, I did, but not for the right reasons.
Okay, well, I'm on the opposite end. I actually enjoyed this.
Hey,
But that's because I'm really into the dark killer type movies and rooting for him to win. And only M. Night can literally have his daughter host a concert and then write a movie around it based off of an old Phil Collins urban legend. That's what this movie's about. I enjoyed it.
Oh, I did look up before I give my overall thoughts. They that he declared in an interview the plot was based on some kind of operation called Operation Flagship in 1985. Is that what you're referencing? Is that like the rumor?
Well, I think we talked about it in one of our previous shows how Phil Collins, his song "Feeling in the Air" or "Tonight" or whatever that song is, where the it was going around, people are saying that he lured someone and he saw someone drowning who did nothing to his concert, played that song, and then he got arrested. And then it found out that that was nothing but an urban legend.
Oh,
But that's what this movie technically is
That-
about. So
that is technically what it is.
yeah.
So he's a Phil Collins fan.
All right, all right. He's a fit. I'm sure he is a Phil Collins fan. So, I was watching this movie. So, will you both agree that recently we've watched some, let's call them subpar movies that we didn't like, or bad movies? Okay. So this entire movie, I kept writing down everything that was happening, waiting to like pick it apart. I was like, oh, they better talk about this. They better talk about this. I'm waiting for them to talk about this. And then at the very end, I was like, wait a minute. Whether you liked it or not, and we'll get into it in a minute, they talked about it. They talked about the ticket stub. They talked about his visions. They talked about like all these things. And I was like, well, I think I might like this movie.
Yes.
That's
I'm so glad.
That's kind of how I was. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Everything that we've talked about for the past couple of weeks, they kind of explained, and we'll get into if we like their explanation. But I was like, okay, I'll give it to you. There's a couple things which I'm sure maybe Walter might jump out of his seat right here. The pop star kind of tracking down a serial killer by herself.
I hated that.
Maybe that's the part I didn't like, but at least they explained it, and I even have a justification for it in a second. You know,
there is no justification.
No,
there's no justification.
Zero.
But and then the fact that he escaped like 4 times, like spoiler.
I love that. I love that.
You know, some of the escapes were like okay, and we'll get into the nitty gritty in a second, but. I did kind of like it. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I did kind of like this one.
You're welcome.
Although I could see there was a weird trivia when I looked this up about like there were a lot of shots where the actors looked straight into camera, and apparently like M Night put some kind of weird like 2-way mirror situation so they could like stare at their eyes, and I'm like, maybe that's where Ryan's like he could have winked at the camera pretty easily in a lot of these
there were
moments.
so many moments. I mean, I feel like this was a comedy.
Well, it did start off with what did you think? So let's talk about Josh Hartnett's performance. Like, what did you think of it? Like, was it believable? Did you believe the goofy dad with the serial killer underneath? Like, I did like how he was talking slang. I've had that conversation recently with people. Like, this is like what crispy means. I was like, that was believable, right? A little bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, his performance was awesome to me because it reminded me very much of Christian Bale's performance in American Psycho and of Tom Cruise, who Christian Bale based his performance on, where like, you know, he was doing all the things, saying all the things, but like there was never any emotion behind any of it. It was just like hollow, dead-eyed, like fake happiness. And like you as a viewer knew that, but all the people in the movie are responding to like, oh, wow, this guy's really great and charismatic. And I'm like, wow, he is crushing this. I thought he did a great job.
Same.
Yeah.
It was very believable that he's a murderer. He might not have been acting, though, so.
Well, once again, I did a little bit. I guess I did more research than usual on this
You did more research about him being a murderer?
Yeah, I was like, I Google searched. I was like, is he a murderer? No, but apparently, like, he has 3 daughters. And, like, and at night we're talking about having daughters. And that's how he chose him for this role. Like, all right, I could believe you as a dad. Now can you, I guess, prove the serial killer part of this? So, you know.
Yeah, I think he absolutely knocked it out of the park.
So, yeah, I did like his performance in this one. So I thought that was really good. What was it? Oh man, I was gonna say. So, I was trying to think of like automatically you knew what the problem was. Like I'm gonna try to go in order because the spoilers will get really strange. So, 20 minutes in, you knew what was happening. You knew who he was, and you knew what the problem was. He had to get out of this. And I thought immediately, I'm like, oh no. How many ways are there to get out of this build? Like, how many times are we going to see the same thing over and over again? I want to know if, like, what you thought about that and about, I guess, let's talk about all the ways he got out of, thought there was ways out of the concert. Like the chatty merch guy. Like, I could believe.
Could you? Because here's the thing. A chatty merch guy, I believe. a chatty merch guy that has been given this much information, I do not believe.
That was a little
Like,
yes.
not only was he given every piece of information about what was happening for no reason. Like, they did not need to give and should not have given anyone in this arena that information.
Yes.
But this merch guy 100% knew everything that was going on. And the first person that is like kind of nice to him, he tells all of it instantly. Like, not like the guy barely said 2 words to him. He's like, oh man, let me tell you every piece of information that you're going to need of exposition for the next 15 minutes.
I know.
And
Oh, he fell in love with him. He fell in love
with him
Hartnett.
hard.
Yeah,
I mean, I
he's
felt
like,
bad for Jamie. Jamie was the true hero of this story, and I feel like the heartbreak he must have experienced in those last moments that we saw him when he saw on TV, I felt for him. I did.
actually, he was happy, wasn't he? Oh no, he said,
Well,
"I'm never talking to anybody."
No, he loved the guy, and then found out that he was the butcher. He was devastated.
But
Yeah.
he liked the butcher too, though. That
He
was
did,
the whole
but he didn't like
conversation.
the guy that he loved was the butcher.
He
But he
just
liked-
liked
he
the
thought that
idea
guy was a
of-
hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He liked the idea of
Yeah,
the
But,
butcher.
I mean,
guess. Or no. I
dude,
think
I could go.
Sorry, I was gonna say I think he liked the idea of being part of catching the butcher. Right?
Yes.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
That's kind of
But he was the opposite, and that was what he was upset about. He was like, "Oh my god, I told him everything."
I thought that was so funny.
he was oh god but that was like, again, why I find this movie more of a comedy, because that was like every time he needed a piece of information, it was given to him in a way that made no sense exactly when he needed it. It's like, okay, I am going to pull this fire alarm. Let me just check what's going on the police intercom. And then the FBI profiler jumps on. She's like, by the way, guys, we know that he's going to try to pull like a fire alarm or something, but don't worry, we have that contingency plan in place. So when he pulls the fire alarm, we're going to go and like do our thing. So let's just wait for him to do that. And then he, like, that's when I was like, wink at the camera. You're literally standing in front of it about to pull the plunger, and hear that. You're not going to wink at me?
It's so funny. This moment there's a term called the hand of God. In film school, you learn the hand of God, right? Meaning, something unexplainable happens. The only thing that can explain it is the hand of God comes in and tells these characters what to do, right? This had it at every turn, and for some reason,
when Jamie had told him early on, like, oh man, there's no way to get out of here except maybe to get backstage, I don't know. And then once he has finally decided, oh no, I'm out of options, and he's just there at the concert, then Riley turns to him. She's like, Dad, I hope I get picked to be the Dreamer Girl. You know the Dreamer Girl gets to go backstage?
Wink,
he's
wink.
like, oh, does she now?
Wink,
Huh?
wink.
And then he turns around and sees the girl's uncle standing there, and he's like, hey, by the way, guy that probably picks the Dreamer Girl, my daughter has cancer. I mean, wouldn't it be crazy if like she got picked for something cool? I don't know.
The best part about this is I'm okay with all of that.
I know so far.
Every single one of them. I was like, you know what? I'm cool with it. I'm good.
Sure,
Let's go.
sure.
Like, I like how he gets the apron and then goes to the roof. Like, first I'm like, what is he gonna do? Jump off the roof of a concert? But then he gets caught on the roof. Fine. I'm like, okay. And then he just so happens to pull out the wallet and the special card.
Yeah, the wallet. Yes, that was the other. Oh, it was so good.
It was so good. It was like, I don't know what it is, but because of like I said early on, and I'm going to keep bringing this up, because they explained it, I was like, thank you. I don't know, maybe because movies haven't explained things. I'm like, oh, sure. He left the wallet.
But like,
he has the card.
I don't know.
Okay.
I love that it seems like M. Night just said, fuck it. Like, he in no way did he care about like realism. He was just like, listen, this is what the movie is going to be. This is what's going to happen. I'm going to explain all of it, and it's going to work because I want it to.
It's so funny because think of the plot. Like I said, the plot is super simple, and you have to write your way out of a paper bag. Like, I'm going to take my daughter to this concert, and you can't get out. I'm like,
and even
all right.
The plot itself it seemed like he went back and forth about what he wanted the plot to be. Because early on in the movie, they're talking like, man, it's so crazy that Lady Raven like added this concert last minute, that we were so lucky to get these great seats at this concert. But then later on, it's revealed that like this concert became a trap way after the fact. Like they found his receipt that he had bought months earlier, which is when they then decided to turn the concert that was already happening into a trap. So like he kind of wanted to have it both ways early on before he made up his mind, I think.
And again, I was okay with it.
I know,
Sure,
it's so weird.
Yeah.
Like my one of my favorite things was so we got this whole premise, right? They know he's gonna be here, and we'll talk about that in a second because
Oh boy.
they explained it twice how they knew he was gonna be here. Excuse me, but that was like they explained it twice, which is wild. But I wrote down, I was like, how did they possibly know? Anyway, my whole point of this is they started grabbing middle-aged men. They just started grabbing them, right?
Yep.
Okay. My first question was, how many middle-aged men are at this teenage pop concert? Maybe some taking their daughter, nice dads, right?
Oh.
Okay, fine. But then I'm like, this is weird. They're not getting to him. Like, how many minutes? Like, they must get to him sooner. And then they fucking answer it. They're like, there's 3,000 middle-aged. I'm pretty sure that's the number.
There are 3,000. That is the
there's
number.
they're like, we're going through 3,000 middle-aged men, and I'm like, holy shit. They answered the weirdest question of this movie to me, and I couldn't believe it. I'm like, they even answered this pretty obvious, like, why didn't they get to him right away? Question. He's a white middle-aged man, front and center, and he keeps looking at all the other middle-aged men getting taken.
But also,
it
like,
made me laugh.
Again, it was like they wanted to have it both ways because, like, throughout the concert, they're just picking out men here and there. Like, they're really taking their time doing
Yes.
it. They may have gotten to like 8 of the 3,000.
Yes.
But then their backup plan is when everyone leaves, then we're gonna interview 3,000 people. It's like, you have this whole concert. Move quicker at the first part of this process. Otherwise, you're going to be here for a month interviewing 3,000 people when people are trying to leave this concert.
It's
terrible plan. But
it's
and
insane.
even if they actually picked him out of the group, I had to.
what was the interview? What were they asking these people?
Yeah.
That it's like, all right, are you a serial killer? And the guy's going to be like, yeah.
you got me.
Like, what question are they planning to ask that the answer is going to be, you got me? Like, are they going to be like, hey, you don't have anyone, like, trapped in a basement, do you? It's like, oh, shit, I do.
How'd you know?
Because they don't actually, like, it didn't seem like they knew exactly what he looked like. They had, like, a general outline. They knew the thing about the tattoo, which another thing that, like, as soon as he put on the police comm, it's like, wonder what they're talking about. They're like, all right, here's a description of the guys that we're looking for. It's like, good timing, man.
Yeah, but
The
even
timing.
then,
Sorry, go ahead, Walter.
oh no, just saying. Even if they caught him, it's like he would be able to talk his way out of it based on everything that was going on in the movie. He was able to talk his way out of almost everything, even in a group of SWAT. He was like, I'm just gonna walk right through. And so why would we even
like
think
their
that this profiler was
whole
gonna go?
job at this concert is to check on every dude there. A dude walks through a group of 50 of them, and they're just like, hey, what's going on, man? Good to see you.
Yeah,
I
get some
thought the
coffee,
same
all
thing.
right.
And then another hand of God, he says, "Oh, they always put the sugar here," and he opens it up and gets the sugar. Like, and then he's like, "Oh, well, that means
Nailed
he
it.
works here."
Yeah, but I love it because they explained it. He doesn't crack under pressure,
Yeah.
and like someone like me or you guys probably like, but for him, he's just like, yeah, I got it. Because even if there was nothing there, he'd probably come up with some stupid excuse. They moved it.
Oh yeah, I know. But that whole time, I'm like, I know middle-aged men work at concerts, but they could it was. Listen, this is a movie, and I love movies, but this one, every beat was like almost perfect, like perfect.
But that's what I mean. Like, this
one
movie
way or
like
the
is
other.
constantly reminding you, like, this is a movie. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, something about it was like perfect.
Like, stop worrying about it. This isn't real life. This is a movie. Get used to it. It's like, yeah, you're right. This is a movie. You have told me repeatedly.
I know, but yes, grabbing one middle-aged man at a time just to show us it's happening is
Exactly. Like they did it like maybe 8 times.
awesome. And then they could have said 500, which is also a big number, but
Sure.
I'm pretty sure they said 3.
They literally said 3,000. You are correct.
Which I made sure to write down in big letters. Like I'm like, okay.
And they pulled.
And I don't know how they even knew that. Like, how did they know the exact demographic of all the people there? Like, where did they have like a counter as people were coming in? That's going to be tough to keep track. 20,000 people. You got to. Oh god. How many men were there? I don't know. Like anywhere between like 500 and 7,000. I don't know. We'll take the middle ground. It's 3,000. All right.
All right, Walter. What do you got for us?
What do you mean?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say something.
No.
I thought you were gonna ask a question. Okay.
I'm gonna
keep asking my question because all my questions are gonna have the same answer. Like,
it's a
before
movie.
we get to the yes, he made a movie so his daughter could have a concert.
Yes.
Situation. He like even the fact that he was a firefighter came back. Like you found out he was really. I think that was like his job, right? Like he was really a firefighter. Yeah. I'm like, awesome. Like every time something was explained, I didn't question. I didn't question it. You know, like I didn't think this was a good or bad reason. I was like, oh shit, it's a reason. I don't know why I felt like that. But every time I was like, oh, cool, it's a reason. But I mean, we're rushing through some of my stuff, but let's talk right now about the funniest part of this, in my opinion. But I will give you my reason. It's got to be the fact that, all right, so he goes behind. We can get back to it. I don't know if we forgot anything about like how he got through. You know how he kept getting out of the building. But when the singer went into like the SWAT team headquarters with the lady, right? And then I was like, why is she so involved in this investigation? Like it was, I didn't understand why they would let Taylor Swift, that character, be integral in this investigation. And then finally he reveals who he is to her, right? That was his only way out. Okay, I'm believing this so far. The part I don't believe is the fact that she twists it on him. Crazy silly. Like she's like, all right. First of all, she leaves the concert with no entourage. I don't think that's ever happened. And then she invites herself by herself to this killer's house, knowing the family might be there and figuring it out, right?
Yeah.
We'll talk about the fact that with the phone in the bathroom, but my only theory is she knows, at least in the beginning, he can't kill her because she's too famous. Like she's too well known, right? Am I right or wrong? That's my justification.
No, that can't be right.
I don't think that. I mean,
especially when you go ahead.
I was gonna say, like at this point, like he knows that he's caught, his cover is blown. So like it doesn't really matter what he does anymore. Like he's already lost everything. So like killing her wouldn't make his situation any worse.
And
like they know who he is. They know where he lives. Like it's over. So like she is now going to a serial killer's house who has nothing left to lose. So if anything, this might be the absolute worst time for her to think that this is an idea.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. That was, I mean, I'm not even believing my own justification. That was my justification, was the fact that if he kills her, she's a huge pop star, and he really has no way. I mean,
well, no, because if he doesn't kill her, she's gonna tell everyone who he is. So he almost has no option other than to kill her.
That's also true. You're right.
Which pokes the hole. His plan was to let her go. He was trying to get out. So knowing that she knows who he is, I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. So there was a hole there that I was like,
I mean, I have to assume that at this point, he, like I said, like he's burned. He is screwed. He's got nothing left to lose. I guess his plan was to, like, it would have to be to abandon his family and just go on the run and like find a new identity. But it seemed like the only thing that he actually did care about was his family. So it's like, his justification at that point kind of went out the door for me. But I did really love, I don't know if he's an app developer or if this carbon monoxide releasing app just kind of exists on the marketplace somewhere. But what a tool. What a useful tool for a serial killer.
Was that I thought that was a bluff,
What?
Oh,
right?
could it?
I thought it was
Why?
a bluff the whole time because there was nothing there to show that there was a button to press. And like you said, how did he create this app? I thought it was a bluff from the get-go, so I didn't even like assume that was a real thing.
Well,
I just thought, oh, this is a stupid singer, so I'm going to bluff my way through it. And what he's been doing the whole time is lying his way through stuff. So that's what I thought it was.
That's interesting.
I mean, we
because-
were never given any indication that it was a bluff.
But there was no indication that it was a real thing either, other than him saying it. Like, oh, if I press this button, and like, but what button are you?
I mean, that's what the
talking
whole
about?
movie was, him saying stuff and that being the way it was.
Well,
Oh,
didn't they? How did he kill the people? Did he killed them and chopped them up, right, or something like that's what they said?
Right, but like
How
this,
did he
I
kill
mean,
them
the
before he
explanation
chopped
was that
them
this
up?
was his fail-safe because
Yeah.
you would want to have a fail-safe in case something went awry.
I took him at his word too, but
I took him
but
at his word because
I
like,
could see where it could be a bluff. I could see where it could be a bluff.
but there was, I mean, if anything, it's just a plot hole because we weren't told one way or the other. The only information that we were told is that it did do this.
Oh,
well,
the phone
he said
did
it.
do this,
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that it did have the ability to do the thing that he said it had to do.
I'm just taking it as a lie, just because that's his character the whole movie. So why stray from that? Because it's like he's not once told the truth. He's been lying almost every single time. Why would that be the one time he's like, "Oh, I'm going to tell the truth"? There's a button here.
I mean, I just, again, if it was a lie, they probably should have said that.
I mean, we're arguing over something so minor that it didn't matter because it didn't pan out to anything.
Well, I also thought, you want to know my biggest thing was, so she takes the phone into the bathroom. At first, I thought it was his phone, which it was, but then she also she took the daughter's phone also, right?
Yeah, she took the daughter's phone, her own phone, and his
Yeah.
phone.
Oh, she had her own phone too?
Yeah,
that's how
she was
she-
live streaming on her phone.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that was my question, because I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I can't even sign into like anyone else's. Like, I could barely sign into my account to go live, let alone like a random girl's phone. But okay, so she did have her own phone.
She did
All
have
right.
her own
Yeah,
phone.
she was live streaming on her phone and said, "Hey, does anyone know where I can find a broken line?" And found it immediately.
Okay, yes, they did
'Cause-
find it
Because
immediately.
there's nothing easier to find than
A broken line and a blue
something that
door.
And a
isn't
blue
anything.
door, or a blue door,
Like,
red door.
it's like the most nothing description in the history of the world, and they found it in like 2 seconds.
And they must have gotten a warrant too, based off all of that too, from a random,
Oh, and then she's telling, "Hey, child, go rush into this serial killer's safe house. Do it now. Take some adults." It's like, yeah, this girl is a rocket scientist. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, especially when he's saying he put a booby trap with the app.
That's what
and
I'm
he pressed the
saying.
button. It's like, but what if he put other traps?
Child,
What
rush
if
into
door
the serial
explodes?
killer's house. Hurry.
Hurry up! Can I provide some kind of what they should have done to justify her part more?
Sure.
The guy that he captured should have been tied to her somehow. Boyfriend, brother, manager,
thought
anything to tie them together. But
Yes.
some random guy, I'm like, well, why would she even care and or risk her life over? Like, get out of
That's-
here.
I agree. I thought once they were in the limo, or when he confronted her and said, "Listen, you're looking for me. I have your brother, your uncle, your someone," because then it would have connected everything. You're right. That I thought the same thing. That was missing from.
But like his plan was to like leave her almost immediately. And she's like, no, I'm going with the serial killer to his home. Like, she's psychotic.
Yes, that's true.
Like, I don't
And-
even know. Like, he seemed a little more sane once she entered the picture. I was like, whoa, this guy seemed nuts. And now that I know her, he doesn't seem so bad.
To fix all of that, the moment they get to the house, she could have just left. Like, okay, thanks. I gotta go. I just wanted to see your house. Why
She's
would
like,
you
no.
go in?
I'm going to piss this guy off. I'm going to tell
Yes.
his family that he's a serial killer. I'm going to live stream to the whole world about this lion that is, again, the most nothing description of anything in the history of time.
She could have also given a note to the wife, who we're gonna get to in a second. Like, she could have. First of all, I'm not even concerned about all that. What about her shitty limo driver who just left her?
He was like, "This seems fine. This is totally normal. I'm not worried."
She does this all the time. Visit serial
And
killers.
when she texts him, right? Call the police. You should have been bursting through that door the moment you got that text.
Yeah.
That's your bread and butter.
I
right
mean,
there.
I don't know.
He
The limo
goes, "You
driver,
got no
I don't know that he
job."
gets paid enough to go bursting into a serial killer's house.
If
Well-
she is his if that's like Taylor Swift, her driver probably gets paid back.
I don't even know if that's her
Enough work.
driver. It seemed like it could have just been like a rental.
No, she had the guy's phone number, right? And
Sure, but
I-
you get a
I-
rental
I-
guy's phone number.
I'm gonna get
Anytime I get a rental, you get their phone number.
dude.
So
Yeah, that's how you communicate. That's how you tell them, like, "Hey, I'm ready to go."
yeah, you just you
But
have
man,
to get your limo driver.
She was nuts. His wife was absolutely insane. She decided to set him up by sending the only piece of information that her daughter had been looking forward to for 6 months, so that her daughter was either going to become his hostage or have the best night of her life ruined. I guess that was her plan.
Well, to be fair, she wasn't 100% sure he was the killer, though, right? She just suspected. And then,
But that's the
did
reason
all of
she
that.
left the receipt, was because she suspected.
But that's actually, you know what? I didn't put that together. That the wife put her daughter.
Her
in
daughter, it was
danger.
like, I'm going
lot.
to set him up
So-
so that he is at his absolute most insane when he's alone with my daughter.
Yep.
So, well, let me see. We've mentioned this a couple times. Did he toe that line very well because of being a serial killer and loving his family? It's come up multiple times. So, do you think?
I thought he was great, and I thought everyone else was terrible.
Well, I meant, do you think he in this moment, like, he would have used his daughter in that way? Because even to the very end, he wouldn't turn on his family. He almost killed his wife.
I don't
but-
think he would have, but is she that confident that,
okay. Well,
Yeah.
I'm going to put her in this situation where, there are going to be police that are anxious. There's going to be
that's
my
true.
serial
Yeah.
killer husband
That's very
in
true,
a
actually. Yeah,
terrible
yeah.
situation, and my 12-year-old daughter is guaranteed to be there.
There could have been so many things that went wrong. There's mass hysteria. She gets trampled on.
Yep.
He
Yeah.
uses her as a human
She
shield,
was essentially goodbye, daughter, for real, when they left for
Sorry,
that
sorry.
concert.
Man, I've been laughing too much. Maybe this was a comedy. Or
I'm telling you, this was the funniest movie I've seen in a long time. And when the biggest pop icon in the world shows up at this woman's door with her serial killer husband, who she thought she had sent to his capture, show up, she's just like, "Oh, hey guys, great to see everyone." This is she gave zero indication of whoa, I'm kind of surprised and taken aback. She was just totally cool with it all. She was like, "Yep, this is fine too." Either scenario was good with me. Either my husband died, my daughter died, or this pop icon showed up at my front door. All are the same to me.
she
just coming
did-
to have some food.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was
did
like,
have
"I
a
made
very-
pie."
I'll give her some credit. You don't think she was a good actor? She's been acting for a week. She knew, or weeks, that all this was going down, and she didn't give it up till the very end.
Yeah.
Whew. So this all right, so let's talk about the wife for a little bit, right? I mean, it starts with first of all, let's talk about the little misdirection, the great shot, like this is a movie, of the teapot, the very classic reflective teapot, and I'm like, oh, okay. Now this is after he's already escaped 3 times at least. So then all of a sudden, all right, he's not in the teapot, and you're like, what's gonna happen? Oh, and he's just sitting at the table. Which is awesome. I get it. I don't even know. I think I wanted to see him in the teapot, and then not having it, I'm like, maybe that was a great directorial decision. I don't even know at this point. I'm just letting it happen. But so he's there, and this is where we get the explanation for the second time about the ticket, right? So they found a a concert ticket stub or whatever you want to call it, which is even weirder if it's paper nowadays, but we don't have to talk about that.
It was a receipt. It was a torn
I'm sorry.
receipt.
You're right. It was a receipt. It wasn't the stub.
Yeah.
In this safe house because she thought he was having an affair, and he even called her out on it. He's like, "You thought it was an affair, but it wasn't." And she's like, "No."
Yeah.
And every step of the way, once again, I was with her. I'm with the explanation. So, despite the fact that I was with it, what was wrong, or what did you like about her setting this whole thing up? I guess is my question.
I have to backtrack real quick because as you said that, it popped in my head. If he had the receipt, was it just a piece of a receipt, or was it the whole receipt?
I think she said that she tore it, so it looked like it was left there by accident.
That's what she said. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Tore it, so it was left by accident. Yeah.
So the FBI doesn't have the ability to put it all together. Go, oh, here's the last 4 digits of the credit card. Let's find out who got it. Oh, this guy's name, and go to his house. That's you said. I was like, wait a minute. They could have tracked him down pretty easy.
You don't know how precise the ripping of that receipt was.
Oh yeah, man.
It ripped all the personal information,
all the pertinent information, but just left the date and the concert name. Yeah, it was really like it was ripped so precisely that it was clearly not an accident, but still they went with it as an accident. They were like, "Man, this thing got ripped into like triangles. I don't even know how it accidentally ripped this way." But
let's now try to put it back together. Not at all.
She used scissors. And she left all the Ticketmaster fees to know that he was true, like all that stuff.
Okay, sorry, that was a tangent.
No, it's a good one. It's a good tangent because yes.
No, her plan was.
But yeah, tell me about her plan.
It was perfect. It was like, okay, there's one thing in this world that my daughter is looking forward to, and that is the night that I'm gonna fucking ruin.
I'm not talking about that. That is funny if you think about it like that. I'm talking about the fact that she leaves the ticket. She stalks this guy who's with a serial killer, and she follows him. I'm like, okay, and then she goes back without him. Okay, all this is believable. Rips the ticket with scissors, as we've discussed, and then has the wherewithal to then, after all this, puts like paralyzer in the pie because there's still some kind of trust there, which goes back into his performance, right? Or am I wrong? The like he just eats the pie because I love my wife, but I'm also gonna kill her in about 5 seconds.
I was more confused of how he did not notice that she knelt down to do that and how quick she did it. It's like, you're about to kill her. Why would
she was going back there expecting him to be there, and she's like, I'm just gonna put this paralytic in my pie and I'll wait for him to show up because of course he's gonna show up to kill me now, I guess.
No, she did it in front of him, right? Because you saw her go down and then come right back up because the pie was already on the counter, and then you see her come back up. So it's like she didn't plan for it. She literally did it in front of him, and it's like, dude, how'd you not see that?
I didn't pay attention.
How was there enough time for that?
That's what I'm saying. That made no sense. But you saw her come back up from.
You did, but there just wouldn't have been time for it to happen then. So I assumed it had to have happened before.
But it could because she had the pie on the counter at first, right? And then all of a sudden she's coming down from below with it. It's like,
I guess both scenarios are actually impossible. So either one makes much sense.
But it's like, come on, man, you're so OCD and you're not really going to question that.
That happens in a lot of serial killer movies, by the way. They paint this picture of a meticulous.
It's always OCD. Like they always get gotten by something that it's like if you were really that OCD, you wouldn't have gotten
It's
that
always
way.
Like you've never not turned off that light switch, but the one time you did it, you get like that happens in all of these serial killer kind of movies where all of a sudden and there's no explanation for it. It's like this one actually. Oh my god, this one actually had one. Like I love my wife. However, they gave whatever, but it always happens like that where it's like, you know, he let his.
That was always what irked me about the ending of Law Abiding Citizen when like he had like traps upon traps upon traps, but like didn't have any sort of like notification system if someone found his secret lair where everything was hidden.
But I'll give the wife credit for all that stuff. I mean, listen, he even escapes through a freaking like Shawshank Redemption tunnel that he's been carving, and the wife doesn't know it for, I'm assuming, months or years or whatever.
Years probably.
It's so everything has an explanation. But I'm
I love the
gonna give it to her. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh. No, I was gonna say I love the pop star though. Again, like not only does she go to the serial killer's house, but then she shows up when the dude gets rescued, and she's just like inserting herself into every moment that this individual would never be at.
What like
and
that
then
goes
when
back
she
to Walter. There was no if there was a connection, then go see your friend or your relative.
Right? Like she's like there. It's like, what does this mean to him? I mean, I guess it'd be cool, but confusing.
Well, the simple answer is that's my daughter. I'm going to give her explanation and more screen time. Even if people are not going to like it, we're going to see her. We're going to jam it down your throat.
Yeah, she was truly the hero. She had memorized the entire like FBI profile on this. Like she's like reciting word for word. It's like, when did you have time? Like, shouldn't you have been like practicing your music and not learning everything about this serial killer that you just kind of found out about a few weeks ago?
You want to know what? If she was so involved, she was better than the FBI profiler lady.
So much better. All the FBI profiler lady did was reveal important information to the serial killer by accident.
all the time.
And then this girl was like, yeah, but what this FBI profiler told me was actually useful information, and now I'll recite all of it to you because everyone in this movie loves a good exposition dump.
Yeah, I know. And the best trivia was she's Haley Mills, who was in the original Parent Trap.
Yes, the FBI profiler was. Yeah.
Before we get into I wrote it down as the bike and the very end. What about his the vision of his mother? Like, did that
there were a few of those
came around? I didn't know what it was at first, and then at the very end, like merging into the profiler, I thought was kind of fun. Like even that was kind of explained, like.
But like she was like when he was in the bathroom early in the movie, he saw her. Like, I don't understand. Like, is this just like a daily occurrence for him? Like every day of his life, he sees visions of his mother and just plays it off.
I'm assuming that was the juxtaposition of like his mother was his psychotic side, something, right? And then he's like, no, I have to ignore you. I'm at a concert with my daughter. That's what I kind of was assuming.
Sure.
But why not, right? That's kind of this whole movie was.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, yeah, that's fine. That works.
It was Bates for me.
I feel like all of it is just like plug in whatever explanation you like, and that's the explanation.
Yeah. Wait. Who did you think it was, Walter?
No, right away. Right away when they showed the first thing I thought was, that's his mom. Bates, trauma. Why he's a killer?
Oh.
That's like right off the bat, like not even trying to hide it. So
I'm also not a fan of like the mother looked very similar to like the profiler. So at first I thought it was like a profiler, like that he's, gotten away from in the past. I don't know, some of the weird.
Oh, all profilers are old women.
Correct.
It's a prerequisite to do the job, actually.
I've been doing this for 50 years. I know them inside and out. However, so actually this will lead me a good tangent into my next thing, like the bike at the end. These FBI SWAT profilers were, I guess, inept. Let's just call them dumb. No, very, very willing to do whatever. Like he bent down. Like usually they should draw their guns or pick him up. Like he's a serial killer. Like maybe let him hug his daughter. Maybe. Yeah. But bending down to play with a bike for a little bit, you're like, this is a creepy dude. But they didn't. Yeah. Every turn, every twist and turn, they were the ones that were like, huh? What's happening?
Well, the explanation obviously is it's a movie. It's gonna happen, and you're gonna deal with it.
Because I just assumed like the bike was like, all right, we know he's OCD, except when he doesn't have to be. I get it.
Well, no, as soon as he bends down, I think it's his wife or the profiler screams like, "Don't shoot him!" And they're like, "Okay, you're right."
Like, what if he was bending down to like pick up a baseball bat?
She said, "Don't shoot him," and they were like, "Yeah, you're right. We'll wait. We will wait until he's finished doing this weird thing."
And how quick he must have snapped that off none of them
without a sound.
Yeah,
without
no sound. He's just like, Yeah, what was that?
At least like he should have done like a cough or something, like oh, like so it's like that's how he covered it up. Give me the explanation, M. Night. You were so good up until now.
I know everything had an explanation, including this ending. So the ending,
including when Josh Hartnett was in the limo dressed up like a cop and then got into different clothes and walked into an enormous crowd of people that were exclusively trying to find out who the guy was in the car, and nobody noticed.
it was so fun. That part was so fun. I'm like, this is one of them. I'm like, ooh, man, how's he going to get out of the concert? All right, that's good. I'm like, ooh,
But
how's
the
he gonna
explanation was always just, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It's happening. It's a movie.
But how's he going to get out of the house? Oh, I'll tell you. How's he going to get out of the
Yeah.
limo? Well, there's people.
He
and
just
clothes.
walked out. He just walked out. That's how.
So, and then, how many times have you seen this in a movie? So, at the very end, they put him in the very secure transport car, but he's back there by himself.
All of them.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, of
Why?
course.
Like,
Listen,
I've seen
man.
it both. I've seen it. Wait. I've seen it both ways. I've seen it where there's 3 people there, and then he picks the cuffs and kills them all. Or
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen him alone, unless it's like Hannibal Lecter, kind of like.
I mean, I think this
alone.
was just pointing out that, there are cutbacks. There are cutbacks these days. They didn't have enough cops to have someone in the front and the back. They're like, listen, this is just the way it is. It's 2024. We've been through a lot, and we don't have an extra guy. So you know what? We had like 50 in the yard, but they all had their own cars. So
Which how in the world is he going to escape that when there's multiple cars behind him? Unless they're just like, oh, what's that? Oh, that's okay.
the answer is, it's a movie. It's gonna happen.
Just go with it.
So wait a minute. I do have a question about that. Is this a movie where the bad guy wins?
100%. He got
Oh
away.
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
and I love it
Yeah.
because not one time I was like, you got to get caught. The whole time, like, you got to get out of here. Got to get out of here.
I mean, I knew from the jump, I was like, oh man, this is a great comedy. There's going to be a sequel. There's no way he's getting caught.
Can we explain why he had to take off his shirt when he was with his wife before he was allegedly going to
I mean, wouldn't you?
I mean, we know why. It was like, well, I'm Josh Hartnett. I got to show
That's
off
what
my
I mean. Like, if you were
But-
Josh Hartnett, as soon as you walk in your house, you're taking your shirt off.
Yeah, but it's just like,
It was just like any other day for him. He's like, listen, I'm home, baby. Shirt's off. You know
shirts
the rules.
off, give you some pie. And then put a
Pie. Don't give me any lip.
He didn't want to get his shirt dirty because of his OCD that is effective for
Because
a
of
But
the
lot
not-
of
murder he
movies.
was about to commit.
but not his pants, just his shirt.
He's like, I don't want to get pie on my shirt, and I definitely don't want to get blood on my shirt. Now give me pie, and then I'm going to kill you.
And then I'll wash my pants because they'll have blood on it.
Stupid.
Ooh, man, no, this is awesome.
This is one of the best movies I've seen in a while.
This is amazing. So, oh man, I think, is anyone out there has any other questions that we didn't touch on? I always propose it. What did we forget? I'm trying to think. I even like first of all, the shot we kind of talked about his, like, the Shyamalan cameo of, like,
Yeah.
which I thought was hilarious that he was the one that, like, presents a serial killer to his daughter. Like, the whole underlying text of that was kind of funny to me. Like, he's the
But he
bad
was the
guy.
uncle.
But I also love, again, like, the cops are like, hey, we have to question every guy. And he's like, nah. This guy's cool. It's like, hey, man, this will take, like, maybe a minute if you just let us, like, nah. His daughter's got cancer, buddy. We can't ask him any questions. It's like, oh, yeah, that's a good point. Okay, you're fine. You're right. You know what? That's okay now.
It's not like you could just send a daughter up by herself. You both have to go at the same time.
Yep. Nope.
And the whole that was
You know
the
why?
one that was the
It's a
one
movie.
SWAT
Don't
guy.
worry about it. It's happening.
That was the one SWAT guy who was, like, good at his job.
Right? He was trying. He was like, just let me interview him. We have to interview him. And he's like, nah. Don't worry about it. It's like, all right. I guess you made a really good point about the daughter cancer thing. I can't ask him any questions now.
I know he's fine. Because yeah, what would have what would have happened? Like you said, give me a second. Are you a serial killer? Yes. All right, go up to go on stage.
All right. Well, your daughter can still go on stage, but we're gonna have to arrest you because you did say you're a serial killer. And that's exactly what we've been looking for. And thank God you said that, because we did not have a second question.
And we don't know what.
Don't worry about it. It's a movie.
Are you either a white guy, two black guys, or an older gentleman? Because they also knew it was one of those four things.
That's right.
But we're not certain which one.
And the only reason they knew about that was because there's like a security camera in a park where they found the bot. Like,
yeah. Oh man, I also like how the way like they show at the end like how the guy got captured. It's like a dude parked in a van alone, asking this guy. Didn't he say like he was asking him for a jump, even though the guy was not in a car?
And he yanked him, like super yanked him into the.
It's the hey, I got some candy. Want to come over here?
Right? Like that guy deserved it. He was asking for it.
I bet you that you didn't have audio in that video. The audio was Skittles, and then he just like he didn't get pulled in the van. He jumped
like,
into the van.
Do you have Twix? It's like I do have Twix. All right, I'm in.
How much candy do you have in this van? Like, first of all, they went through that whole thing about the guy drives a black car because of his OCD, he wants to keep it clean, but he abducts people in a white abduction van, and then takes out his wife's car, which is white, and he has the balls to be like, "No, you were right. It was a black car."
Just to be clear, my car is black. That was
like
a good call.
I need to tell you that you were right. You're better than the profiler. Sorry.
Was the van white? I thought it was just a black and white picture.
No, the van was white.
It was white.
His car that we.
I mean, it was a grainy picture,
black.
but you could still see that it was not black.
Yeah. Awesome. Any more? Keep going. I can't wait till we get to our ratings.
Dude, it was. Let's see what else was good. Oh man, when he without anyone noticing, went into the kitchen and threw those like enormous jugs of oil into the vat of oil, and then that girl stared at it for like a while, being like, "Oh man, this looks like it's about to be bad. I can't wait until. Are you guys gonna cut, or what's about to happen? Is this gonna happen? Is it gonna happen? Oh my god! Oh, it exploded."
That's the second person that deserved what came to them. The guy got caught, and the girl got her face blown up.
Like, I watched the gears turn in his head. Like, I think I watched the director Shyamalan's gears turn. Like, you see Josh Hartnett, you see the fryer, you see.
He came up with that as he was filming it. He's like, "Oh my god, Josh! I just had an idea."
that's and then he threw all of that in there. I forgot about that.
Nobody noticed anything that he did. Like, not once did anyone notice the crazy shit that he was just like randomly doing at all times.
And the cameras didn't pick him up either, which they specifically said they had.
All over the place, right?
Jamie again, like it's like he comes back for his shirt, and Jamie's like, "Oh yeah, they're in the back." He's like, "I'll go with you." He's like, "Of course you're gonna come with me. Why would you even ask? You're coming. Let's go. You come to the back. Let me tell you more secrets about things. And by the way, like, what do you do?" It's like, "Oh, I'm a firefighter." It's like, "You're a firefighter. Great. You're basically a cop. Let me tell you even more stuff now."
And then he's like, help me with this high box because you're a tall guy, and then I'm gonna take.
He's like, "Oh my god, you're so strong. You're so strong and handsome."
I love that. I love how in movies, they take the IDs in all different ways. That's my favorite. I feel like he went in the back room. He not only told him everything, but like gave him access to the back room. Sorry.
It's like, "Oh man, that's crazy. What's your passcode, by the way?" "Oh, no way. That's nuts. I mean, yeah, of course, we're on the same side. You should tell me as many things as possible. Hurry up."
He's like, "You can tell me you're the secret code that they gave everybody."
And then Jamie does the look around as though like one of the employees, which would be in the back room, are the concern. Like, who else is going to be back there other than employees? The only person that isn't an employee is the guy you're about to tell.
So the post-credit scene, obviously Jamie, right? That's the merch guy.
Yeah.
Watching the news and showing the face of the serial killer who, oh my God, we said, all right.
That's when I felt bad for him,
The rest of the scene that I wanted was him watching the security footage, being like giving us a play-by-play, like a sports commentator of oh man, how he got to how'd he get in the kitchen? Oh, that's how he got in the kitchen. Like, I wanted him to like see all of the stuff that we, as the audience, were like, well, how did he do that? It doesn't matter.
Oh man, I wanted him to be like, honey, I'm definitely getting fired.
Yes.
That's how I thought. I thought it was gonna give him a hard
By the
time.
way, there is zero chance that I will not be fired, and I may be going to prison for an accomplice of a serial killer. I gave him so much more information than I should have. More than I should have given anyone, really.
He was an accomplice, and I did think he was gonna be like, oh, I'm getting fired, and then
Yeah. And going to jail, for sure.
There's no way he can't be going to jail.
He would not go to jail for that.
But unless being
You don't think
stupid,
you don't think that qualifies as like negligence?
no, that's not enough for you to go to jail.
I don't know.
I don't
wanna-
think it's
actually,
enough.
I'm gonna take it back. What I want to see is Jamie's police interrogation. Like, why did you tell him this?
Oh man, they 100% should have showed his police interrogation. Him just like sweating, like I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to tell him.
Did you see his
literally
eyes?
every piece of information that I shouldn't have even had. Why'd you guys tell me all of that? That's the real question.
This is your fault.
Yo, that please. If that's a bonus scene somewhere, someone find it. Someone send it. I want to see the Jamie interrogation scene.
Like, it is crazy. I have zero training, and you told me your entire plan. Why would
What?
you do this?
Why did you let him in the back room? He wanted a small shirt. Like, that's the like. Oh my god,
It's like,
it is
well,
incredible.
it's like I didn't even charge him for it. I did no part of my job.
I know. If he's like, all right, well, we're not gonna fire you for helping a serial killer, but we are gonna fire you for giving away free merchandise.
Like, he did zero parts of his job correctly.
Oh my god, he was the best. Oh, this is awesome. And then it all started because like Josh Hartnett was this nice, like because he didn't want to start
That was
a
it.
fight.
That was how he got away with pretty much everything he did. He just went
Oh,
up to someone and he was like, "Hey, how's it going?" And they immediately fell in love with him, and then he was able to do whatever he wanted.
That has to do
Like,
with
they
his
basically
face.
all looked at him like, "Oh my god, you're Josh Hartnett."
Yeah, you're so dreamy. Whatever you say. I wanted that other mother to get killed. I was waiting for him to
Oh,
like
yeah,
take
she
her to
was
the
terrible.
bathroom and just.
I like
just
how
get
her
rid of
getting her comeuppance was just that, like, her daughter threw a soda on her, I guess.
Yeah, which was stupid.
Yeah, that was her comment. Like, how couldn't you? Like, look, my friend's on stage. You couldn't do that kind of situation. Oh man. All right, I think we have to talk about ratings.
Oh man. Oh, I had another thing.
Oh wait,
When-
there's more. This movie's awesome.
Well, dude, this movie was so funny. When the pop singer is trapped in his bathroom, how it takes him like 20 minutes to figure out how to get into that bathroom. Like, he couldn't just throw his shoulder into it,
Or
honestly.
Well, it's not like he was a firefighter or anything. He wouldn't have the training.
Like,
No.
he's just like that's the moment he chooses to be just 100% restrained, just like knocking on the door, like, "Hey, can I have my phone back? Hey, please, can you give me my phone back? Hey, who are you talking to in there? You're not talking to the guy that I've trapped in a basement or the entire world about like everything that could ruin my life for all of eternity, are you? I'll keep knocking though. Oh man, maybe I'll look for the keys, or no, it's a bathroom door, man. A little girl could knock it down."
wait, is that before or after he locked his family in the upstairs room? Because maybe
So
he didn't want to
he
show?
locks them in the room after she has talked to the guy that's trapped, after she has gone on live and told everyone what to look for, and then after she has finished doing that and feels pretty good about herself, then she goes back to the door and she's like, "By the way, your husband's the butcher, he's a serial killer," and that's when he locks his family in there.
Oh, okay.
In the daughter's room, where apparently there's a window that he forgot about.
Because he doesn't have OCD. Oh wait, he does.
No, because his explanation was, "Oh my god, I always kept the different parts of my life separate, so I never thought about all the ways that they could escape a room in this house." It's like, it's a bedroom, man. Of course it had a window.
I mean, that's the juxtaposition of the family. I don't know. Listen, Shyamalan thought of everything. He had an
Shyamalan thought of
explanation.
everything. He writes like he does not speak English as his first language. Like, everything that these people say is like almost there, but a little bit off, and it is incredible.
But that makes it so good. So we did have a comment when we first started this show, right?
Yeah.
But they had to leave, and the comment was, "I haven't seen it yet, But if Sixth Sense
Oh,
is
they
like 10
should.
bananas, right? If Sixth Sense is 10
Yeah.
bananas, how does this compare on a specific M. Night banana scale? That was what it said, okay?
13, 14? Can we go that high? Like,
So, what I
Yeah,
want
this has
you
got
to
to be
do,
like 20 bananas at
Yeah.
least.
I'm going to
Because
tell
here's
you.
the thing, M Night has broken the scale. M Night gets his own scale now.
That's
The
what-
M Night
that's what-
scale is no longer a scale that can
It's
be compared to anything else.
But that's what Ari says. So Ari says, "What is the M Night scale?" We're gonna give our overall rating, but the M Night scale. Has
That's a good
anyone
one.
has everyone seen The Good Place?
Yes.
Okay, The Good Place was amazing. M Night scale is like the way he describes the universe, like the Jeremy Bearimy. Like it's all over. It's everywhere.
Yeah. No, it is.
Right? Okay. So let's start off with what everybody else thought. So we have IMDb
oh
at
wow.
a 5.9, okay, on average.
Hmm.
We have the critics at a 58%. Screw them, better than. And then we have the audience at a 65%. I have
Yeah.
no idea what our banana scale is, but let's give it an M Night scale. Let's give it an overall scale. It's usually out of 10. At least the normal rating has to be out of 10. The M Night scale could be whatever the heck you make it. But let's see what we got.
Man.
I think I want to start with Walter.
Whoa, you're gonna start high here because I wasn't kidding. I actually really enjoyed this movie, and this talk is so much better.
It made it better. I know.
Yeah. I did have issues, obviously. Pop star saving the day. That was stupid. And, M. Night having his daughter's concert, whatever. I'm just going to I literally had to let almost everything go. And I did. And I enjoyed it. I don't know if this is because I've been craving a good M. Night movie for quite a while that my rating is going to be high, or is it's just that good. So I'm at a 7.5.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
That's lower than I
do-
thought it was going to be, actually.
Oh wow, okay. I'm gonna raise it. No, I'm just kidding. I recommend this. This was definitely entertaining, and then listen to us again to make it even more entertaining.
Oh man, yeah. Oh man, I know if you haven't watched it, you're not watching us because of spoilers. But if you could watch us afterwards, I might just post like, go watch it, and then please listen to this conversation. It made it better. I only go next when someone matches me. I'm close, but let's go with Ryan.
Oh man, I hoped. Yeah, I mean, like I said, this for me as a thriller, this movie kind of missed the mark completely. But as a comedy, knocked it out of the park. Josh Hartnett was incredible in it. He was so good as the serial killer. I mean, he did everything in his power to make this movie great. The dialogue was terrible. Everyone else in the movie was terrible. There was no tension ever. But I laughed a lot. So, I mean, I can't say that I didn't enjoy it. It was nuts. It was a nuts movie. It was so far removed from any semblance of reality, but as an avant-garde experiment, it was a ton of fun. It was, I mean, just nuts to me. Every part of it was insane. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with 6 bananas.
All right,
That's higher than I thought.
I was going with like 5.5 or something.
I was
thought it
between
a little under
5.5 and 6, but like again, like I didn't enjoy it for the right reasons, but I enjoyed
But
it.
you did enjoy it.
I did enjoy it.
That's all that
Like, it
matters.
was nuts. It was absolutely nuts to me, and that's what like the M Night scale. I don't even know where to begin with it because like I feel like this movie actually gives me a greater appreciation for some of his other movies now that I'm like reframing the way that I view his work. I think this has really helped me kind of understand M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah, I don't know. We can get into. We're gonna have to have a whole nother show maybe about the M. Night scale of movies, but that is a very interesting depiction of what that could be. Um, so I want to, before I say my comment, I want to say one of the reasons we do this show is pretty much for the reason you rated what you rated. Like, whether this movie was a thriller to you or a comedy to you, people like movies for tons of different reasons. And if you enjoyed this movie for whatever reason, whether it was what they intended or not, that's a success. Like, you had we've watched movies over this shit. You know what I mean? Like, so if you like this movie, that's awesome. I don't care how you liked it or why you liked it. That's great. You know what I mean? Like, people take. I also heard something like, if you made the worst movie ever, you might have still made one person's favorite movie of all time. Like, it doesn't matter. So I think that's awesome. You like a movie or dislike a movie for whatever reason. I came into this at like a 6.5 for the same reasons I said. I liked it. I was trying to pick it apart, but they gave me explanations. Crazy or not, they gave me explanations for everything, this is what I need from this movie. This conversation, I'll even apologize to the viewers. I was laughing so much during this. I don't even know if I was a good host. I was just laughing. So I'm bumping it up at least to a 7. I can't go 7.5. I got to let Walter be the top, but I'm at a 7 out of 10 bananas for the same reason. I enjoyed it. It was fun. I enjoyed talking about it. Like, picking it apart was fun. Letting it be what it was fun. Like, I don't even know anymore. So I got to go 7, man. I do say see this and then come tell us what you think, because I hope everyone agrees, man. It was crazy.
I love it. I love it. I told you, man. After I watched this, I was so fascinated. I was like, dude, I have to talk about this movie.
I know. I was hoping that this conversation was going to be. I mean, this conversation like kind of surpassed what I thought it was. I was like, I want to talk about this.
Dude, this movie, I could dissect every scene for like 3 hours.
I mean, I know. Every part of it was fun. I don't know what else to say. So, listen, you gotta. Like I said, we did spoilers, so I know not a lot of people are listening. But listen, if you liked it, if you like this conversation, share it with everybody you can. If you disliked it, I always say this, but I need to know. I need to know if you disagree with us. There's no way you can disagree with us. We both liked it and didn't like it at the same time somehow. It was crazy. So, like and share and subscribe. Listen, I don't even next week. I don't know.
We ain't topping this one.
This one's gonna be pretty tough to top. That's all I can say.
Man, I don't know if we can top it.
M. Night's back, baby. M. Night's back.
Cool. Can I?
I don't know if M. Night was ever gone. I think we just were missing the mark.
Yeah. Maybe it was us. Maybe it was us. So, all right. Listen, we'll see you next week. This one was wild.
Quack you next time.
Ooh. No, I'm gonna end on that.